welcome back. I hope some of the things that we talked about in the first part of this free Riding Through the Years series have resonated with you. If they have, this next bit is going to make perfect sense. So, welcome to part 2. We're going to be talking about the second half of the WISE formula. This is the formula that I created for myself when I was finding that age was conflicting with the things I wanted to do with my horses. These helped me reevaluate to become more comfortable with what it was that I did want to do, instead of setting my sights so high and then feeling like a failure. So, just to recap, the first one, the W, is the why. You wrote a list of the why reasons, why you want to be with horses and do what you do. It's really important. That builds the foundation on what everything else is going to stand on. I was for intuition. And that's going to come throughout this whole formula. Remember, we're training ourselves how I like to train horses, and we're going to talk more about that now. The S is for safety. Probably the most important, safety. How many times have you thought to yourself, I knew I should have got off? Because you either then fell off or something happened that rocked your confidence so deeply that it set you back completely. And for some of you, maybe made you not want to ever ride a horse again. I really hope we can change that. So safety is vital. As we get older, we don't bounce like we used to, as one of my students said. Nor can we afford to get hurt. We don't bend like the kids do. I've been riding my whole life, and I've had many, many falls. But as an adult, I've had virtually none because of the way that I train myself. So safety, we couldn't not talk about safety equipment. Now, I'm not here to be the helmet police. If you want to wear a helmet, wonderful. If you don't, that is your choice. You are a grown-up and you have your own wisdom. However, for myself, I like to wear a helmet. So there's many different types that you can use. This is just one. I find them quite comfortable. And they just help me inside feel just that little bit safer. Now, I can't tell you that you're never going to, you're going to do this formula and then never fall off a horse ever again. That's just not realistic. Horse riding is a sport that falls under the dangerous category. But there's a way that we can approach it that can make it safer and help your confidence stay intact whilst expanding your comfort zone without bursting through it. And equipment can really help you with that. So we have helmets. We also have a lot more technology these days when it comes to the riding vests, okay, the back protectors. This one's a really fancy one where you attach a toggle to your saddle and it has a little air canister in it. I recently have one like this. If you are to become separated from your horse, the toggle will snap and this will inflate. You do have to remember to detach it before you jump off your horse. I've learnt the hard way on that. But this is another thing that can just help your brain feel safer. Because how many of you have had the times where actually you're in quite a safe situation with a horse, but your brain is telling you, oh my gosh, what if they spook? Oh my gosh, what if they buck? When actually you look around and you are quite safe, but your brain is trying to get you off that horse and back to safety. Equipment can really help you with that. Also, in the next part of this free series, we're going to talk about ways that you can feel safer and rewire your brain to not have all of the what-ifs. That doesn't mean that we don't listen to our brain sometimes, but it can do a pretty good marketing job when actually you're not in any danger. So the last part of the equipment, this is something that helps us and the horses actually, and it's called a balance rein. So this goes around the horse's neck. You can attach it to your saddle, so if he puts his head down, it's not going to fall off. And you can hold this with either two hands or one hand, whilst you're riding. It can help you stay a little bit more steady in the saddle, and it stops you interfering with your horse's head or their mouth. It's a great piece of equipment to, again, help you feel just that little bit safer. So that's all the safety equipment. It's up to you whether you use it or not. It helps me. Maybe it will help you, maybe it won't. That's your choice, but there's some great products out there to help you. So, the last part of the safety is the 1% rule. I'm going to write that down here. 1% rule. I'm rubbish at writing on a whiteboard. The 1% rule is how I've successfully trained horses for years. It's called approximations. So if you have an end goal with your horse or with yourself, let's say it's you want to canter and not feel nervous. That's one of the ones that most of my students have written over the years to say, that's what makes my stomach tighten up. Think about it. If you're nervous and you tighten, that's going to make cantering more dangerous. Because if you're tight, you are not safe and secure in your saddle. So the 1% rule can really help you here. And we break down the end goal into as many pieces as possible. It's called approximations. Some people call it chunking it down. The 1% rule. Let's say mounting a horse, trotting, cantering, any of those things make you feel anxious. This will work for you. So you would start, let me give you an example. You would start with, can I even stand by the mounting block and not feel anxious and tight? No. Okay. Take a walk, loosen off your body, have a talk with yourself, come back, try again. Do you feel a bit better? Actually, yes. Good. You're done. Bank that good feeling. By banking that good feeling, your brain will have a little bit of rewiring, and you will feel that little bit safer. By breaking something down, achieving a small piece of it, you get a good feeling. You're going to bank that good feeling. That's going to help your comfort zone expand. Here's the thing with comfort zones. I don't believe that you have to go outside of your comfort zone to achieve anything. I actually don't think it works very well for us at all. In fact, it can undermine your confidence, frighten you, and actually set you back. What I like to do is push the comfort zone out from inside. The 1% rule can really help you here. When you break things down, achieve one of the steps, bank the good feeling, and call it a day. You've expanded, and tomorrow you can try the next piece. It's a wonderful way of achieving your goals without smashing your confidence. And it can work on any part of riding and training your horse that you want to try. So that's safety. All of those things can help you, from equipment to breaking it down using the 1% rule. Remember, if you do 1% for 100 days, you're there. And some days you might feel much better and you do 10%. But what I don't want you to do is go, I feel good, I'm just going to go and canter. You're likely to go, I should have quit, I should have banked the good feeling and tried again another day. Building up slowly means that when things don't go to plan, your backslide is not spectacular. It will just be 1 or 2 steps. You can try again, bank the good feeling, and move on. The last piece is the E for evaluation. How do you know this is working for you if you don't take the time to evaluate? Every time you set a goal for yourself, you break it down into the 1% rule. Afterwards, I want you to get a pen and a paper, and I want you to write down what worked, and maybe more importantly, what didn't work. Did you jump ahead in your 1% rule and realize you did 50% and you didn't feel great? I want you to have a look, evaluate. Did you feel safe? Did you achieve your goal? Did you break it down? Did it feel good? Would you like to repeat it again? That's the key piece. If it's not fun and you didn't want to repeat it, you maybe took on too much. Can you break even that small piece down into smaller bite-sized chunks? Evaluation. So there we have the formula. The W is for why. Why do we do this? I, intuition, is what you're doing with your horse aligning with your core values. S is for safety. Is there a way that you can use equipment and help yourself and your brain feel safer? If you can, your body's going to relax, which is going to actually make you more secure in the body. E is for evaluation. Is what you've done worth repeating? That's a real key part, because remember, part of my why, it's meant to be fun. It is meant to be fun. So there we have it, the WISE formula. In the last part of our free series, I'm going to be sharing with you a clip from one of our original webinars with Lisa Pulliam. This lady could change your life, and I don't say that lightly. Her techniques and her proof of how, as we age, our brain plasticity is still as good as when we were younger. We can learn new ways to feel safer, to be able to stay grounded while we ride. It's a game changer. I can't wait to see you in the last part of our free series.